Hello everybody, and welcome to Marvin Gardens November 2021. And if you tuned in last month, we had not had a single day or night that got down into the 30s. We had not had a frost, and obviously we had not had a hard freeze. Well, this month we have finally turned the corner on freezing weather. And we've had several nights in the 30s, several frosts, and a couple of hard freezes within the last week or so, meaning that it got down into the 20s overnight. So consequently, there is a lot less going on here than there was last month, but that's okay. And we've still got some stuff to look at, so here we go. Now, you'll probably notice a familiar figure, and that is Cassie. And Cassie has got her winter sweater on, or jacket, or whatever you want to call it, and looking quite the lady in her pink. But since we're here, we'll take a look at bed number 1. And I showed you some good size white radishes before, and there's some more. If I can get the leaves out of the way and stuff. They're very good size. I meant to have harvested them by now, but haven't got around to it. So maybe I'm going to harvest on Thanksgiving Day. And these are turnips. Again, they never really got properly thinned, but there's some nice sized turnips. And I mentioned harvesting on Thanksgiving Day because this is actually the day before Thanksgiving, Wednesday, as it always is Wednesday on the day before Thanksgiving. Pond irises starting to gray, and boy, this is interesting. We actually have some irises that are still blooming, or petunias. I think those are petunias. Everything else in the hanging plants is pretty much done for. As is pretty much everything else here in bed 1, except for all the rogue pond irises we have all over the place. However, I do have something to show you here, and I need to tip the camera down quite a bit, and there it is. That's what you call a cauliflower. Now, it's small, but it's definitely harvestable and edible, and because it's been so cold, we don't have any caterpillars to mess things up. There's another teeny tiny one right in there. I don't know if that's ever going to amount to much, and I think I'm going to go ahead and harvest these like I say, tomorrow, just before it gets really bitter cold. All our summer squash are done for, of course. They go away with the first frost, and our Brussels sprouts are looking just as terrible as they have all season. There might be a few there that I actually could harvest. I like having freshly harvested Brussels sprouts on Thanksgiving, but there's barely enough to even be bothered with. That's my shadow in the not setting sun, but it's getting low in the sky. The herb garden is just weeds now more than anything else, and I still have not cleaned up the memorial area either, so I'm kind of behind schedule on everything. This is where we used to have tomatoes, of course, and if you can see beyond my shadow, you can see that there's nothing left. Maybe a couple of little tiny green ones, and all the cages have pretty much fallen over. And again, another chore for me to take care of. Just because the sun is behind, you can see that's pretty much the last of the fall colors hanging out there. Most of the leaves have come down. We're well past any peak that we had, which wasn't too bad in the last video. And I still haven't got in here and cleaned up and mulched and everything in the grow house. But the good news about the grow house is that you might have recalled last season, all the plastic sort of disintegrated. I don't think it was in the winter. I think it was the summer sun that caused it to disintegrate. This one has held up very nicely. So, and we even have another spare of the covering there that we can rely on if they do if it does end up more or less disintegrating. But I'm very encouraged. I do need to go in there, however, and put some 2x4 posts or something in there to prop up the roof, because last year it got collapsed by snow, and I don't want to take it down, but I don't want it to collapse under the snow either. So what's left here? Not much. That marigold finally succumbed to the freezing weather. We do have a few scallions that could still be harvestable, but they're well beyond their prime. The plants for the blue boy and the black button still have not given up the ghost, but there are also no buds and no sign of blooming, and that's the same with the Delft blue and Nigella here. And again, I think those are the plants, but no signs of blooming. The calendula, on the other hand, are still doing fine. They're a little droopy from all the freezing, but as you can see, they're also blooming and continuing to bloom, and they do quite well cut and put in water as cut flowers. So perhaps when I'm harvesting tomorrow, if I do that on Thanksgiving, I'll cut some of them and bring them in. But the nasturtium done for, the marigolds are done for, and whatever these violas were, they never came up anyway. So now Frankie has joined the picture, and you can see he is looking extra handsome in his blue jacket, and these broccoli, however, are not looking so handsome. I did let some more go to bloom. There are a few of the tiny little heads that has been typical for this stuff, but there's one that's not too bad sized. They are still tiny, but at least they're a couple inches across and still looking good. So I will definitely be harvesting those tomorrow. And what else is going on around here? As you can see, the ground cherries, the eggplant, the peppers, everything done for. Again, except for all the rogue pond irises that are coming up. Now, we did get some lettuce and a couple of salads out of the lettuce bed. They were just pretty small shoots last time we were here, but actually got to harvest some. That's always a plus. Now, all the flowers are pretty much done for. Yeah, I don't see anybody that's still healthy there. And of course the okra was pretty much done for last time. It's even more done for now, and nothing left here of the pole beans of any sort, or the sunflowers, as you saw last time. Similarly, nothing but a tomato graveyard here, and same as last time. Squash doesn't look much different. Skeletal remains that I haven't cleaned up yet. So, and similar are the bee balm, of course. And now, if I could avoid the sun glare and point it up, you can see our cattails still standing, just starting to turn brown, and you know, they're of course done growing for the season, and also done growing for the season, although you can see a little green in there if you look close, are the asparagus. And I'm not even gonna bother to go out there and take a look at what's happening, because it'll be pretty much boring. So across the way we see the French ballerina wheeling some sticks and stuff, because we kind of are making a natural branch fencing along the perimeter of the enchanted forest back there, and so she's constantly working on that space, and she's turned it into just a wonderful place. And drenched in sunshine is the fire pit. We haven't been out fire pitting very much, but I don't know if you can see, there's arches, these metallic arches that used to be on the other side of the fence that Vanina's brought over, and so we're going to allow the stuff to grow up and over those, and the chairs to sit back underneath them. That'll be kind of nice. But all the growth is pretty much done for out here, and all the potted plants. Our little grill. The hammock is still sitting here because I'm behind schedule. And what also is still up that I prefer to have down before the first hard freeze are our little half-barrel water features. Both still there. Probably some partially frozen but alive frogs are probably in there. But I'm due to clean up. Now, Cassie, are you gonna come through here? Okay, I'm not gonna try to stop you. There she goes. She wants to go where I'm going, and she kind of prefers to get there before I do. All right, so again, I'm gonna see if I can avoid sun glare by maybe standing here, and show you the pond, which isn't looking like much. It's still somewhat tinted. I have one more pass at vacuuming leaves out of there, and then that'll eventually clear up, and hopefully the water will be nice and clear for the winter. Most of the plants have been done in by the freezing, but some of them have not yet, and I still need to clean up the ones that have gotten ugly, and so that remains to be done. Oh, and we decided to get a couple of Christmas lawn light up decorations here, a deer and a dachshund, of course. Pretty typical for us around here. But I think that is pretty much gonna conclude the video here. It is cold. It's only in the low to mid 40s. It was in the 20s this morning, but it's calm, so it feels pretty nice out, even though I've got my kind of winter coat on. I don't have my big rabbit hat, probably luckily for you guys. So we're having a pretty good time, and we are cooking and cooking and cooking, as we typically do for Thanksgiving. And tonight we'll be brining a 20 or 21 pound turkey and cooking it on the grill tomorrow, as has become the tradition around here whenever we do a turkey. But that's going to do it. This is Marvin Gardens, November 2021. And we are wishing you the happiest of holidays and all that good stuff. And I hope you have a great Thanksgiving and lots to be thankful for. And we'll see you in December when we are counting down to Santa's big day. So that's about all there is to show you around here. We missed some spots, but there's really nothing to see anyway. So that's going to do it. Marvin Gardens, November 2021. We'll see you next time in December. Bye, y'all.